the night France reached the semifinals. As the stadium clock in Boston struck the 90th minute, one man jumped to his feet and shouted at the top of his lungs. "We did it! We actually did it!" Tears filled his eyes as he tightly held an old French flag he had carefully kept since 2018. His name was Antoine, a lifelong supporter from Paris. He had taken 10 days off work and flown all the way to the United States for just this one match. His friends had called him crazy. "You're spending all that money and traveling across the world just for one football game." But Antoine knew it wasn't just another match. It was the moment every French fan had been waiting for. Inside the stadium, the atmosphere was electric as kickoff began. Morocco stepped onto the pitch full of passion, the same team that had shocked the football world in 2022 by reaching the World Cup semifinals and earning the respect of millions. This time, however, they were facing France. And France had different plans. The first half was packed with tension. Antoine sat nervously in his seat, biting his nails as he watched every pass, every tackle, and every corner kick. Next to him sat a little boy named Louis, wearing a France jersey alongside his father. It was the first World Cup match he had ever watched live in a stadium. "Dad, are we going to win?" Louis asked as Morocco launched a dangerous counterattack. His father smiled calmly. "Just keep watching, son. Mbappe has been quiet so far, and when he's quiet, that's when he's most dangerous." Then, as the second half began, everything changed. One perfect pass, one explosive run. Mbappe brought the ball under control, and the entire stadium seemed to stop breathing. France won a penalty, but the chance was missed. Antoine buried his face in his hands. "No, no, no," he whispered. But football is never decided by a single moment. Only a few minutes later, Dembélé found the back of the net. Goal! The stadium erupted. Antoine leapt into the air. Louis threw his arms around his father. Complete strangers hugged each other as if they had been lifelong friends. "This is our night," Antoine shouted to another French supporter sitting beside him. Both men raised their hands in celebration without even knowing each other's names. Morocco refused to give up. Every player fought with everything they had. Every tackle carried determination. Every attack was driven by hope. They knew that if this opportunity slipped away, another one might never come. Their goalkeeper, who had produced incredible saves throughout the tournament, once again stood tall against France's relentless attacks. But time was running out. Antoine kept glancing at the stadium clock, every second matching the beat of his heart. Then, just when victory seemed within reach, Dembélé created another chance, and this time, France scored again, 2-0. The stadium exploded with joy. Antoine lifted young Louis onto his shoulders so he could witness the unforgettable celebration unfolding on the pitch. French players sprinted toward their supporters. Flags waved proudly. Songs echoed throughout the stadium. When the final whistle finally blew, tears streamed down Antoine's face. This time, they were tears of happiness. He immediately pulled out his phone and called his mother back home in Paris, who had been watching the match on television. "Mom, we did it. France is in the semifinals." On the other end of the phone, through tears, she replied, "I knew it, my son. I always knew it." Sitting on his father's shoulders, Louis proudly waved the French flag. He was living one of the greatest moments of his young life, the unforgettable memory of watching his first ever World Cup match and seeing his